Hey all, Frosty Brothers here, and because it's that time of the year again, I'm going to show off my horror slash Halloween oriented video games that I have in my collection. This is inspired by CZS716's horror game collection video. I'll put a link to his channel down below. Um, I'm going to take it a little bit farther. I'm just going to if it involves something that goes bump in the night or classic monsters, I'm including it in this. Not saying that it may be a scary game or not, but it's still horror based because of either movie license tie-in or, like, let's say Castlevania has Dracula, has the Frankenstein monster, has the Mummy, has, creatures from the Black Lagoon, water little dudes, whatever. So as long as it involves something that is Halloween oriented, I'm adding it into this video. So first off, let's start with the scariest game I own, Shaq Fu. Actually, it's nothing horror-based. It's just scary that they actually thought this was a good idea at the time. Poor Shaq. I bet you he regrets putting his name on this thing. And his freaking album. That's another scary Shaq thing. His rapping career. Anyways. Start out with, we're going to go in order of system and graphic-wise. We'll start out with the Atari 2600's Haunted House. It does have spiders that attack you and bats. You are just two white eyes running around, and you actually look like Meatwad in the earlier stages, and then eventually everything goes black, and that's all you can see is your eyes. Now, for 8-bit systems, Sega Master System, I have Alien Syndrome. It's not a horror game, but you are stranded on a spaceship and/or planets. You have a time limit before it explodes, and you got to save hostages and fight off alien menaces. And the cover, Alien, looks just like the movie Alien. Great arcade game, great port to this system, also available on the NES, I just don't have it yet. And last for Sega Master System is Ghostbusters. Probably the best version of this game. The Atari 2600 and 7800 versions were really dull. Everybody knows the Nintendo version is kind of dumb. But this is the best version of the game, and it's very fun. Now, let's go with Nintendo. Chiller, an unlicensed gun game by AGCI. I want to say it's American Game Company Incorporated or something like that. I have no idea what it stands for, but yes. This is actually a pretty adult-oriented game for back in the day. You can shoot limbs off of people that are strapped to tables and stuff. You shoot heads off of zombies and everything else. And on the cover, I didn't notice until I looked at it again. It says, "Dead people are cool." Friday the 13th. We all know why this is here. Based on a popular horror movie franchise. Not as good, though. Have beaten it with the Game Genie code, Counselors Don't Die. You still have to figure out what the heck you're doing, so it still took a couple of hours to beat that game. Ghosts and Goblins. We all know why that's in there. It involves ghosts. It's got demons. It's horror-based in a way. And a very hard game. Now, the best part for Nintendo for horror-based games, Castlevania, Dracula, Frankenstein monster. You name it, horror cliches are in this game. Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. Do I have to say more? Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. And I forgot a game, and I don't feel like getting up to get it. Monster in My Pocket does involve a lot of the classic monsters. I mean, you fight as a vampire and/or the Frankenstein monster. For the original Game Boy, we got Castlevania Adventure. A very slow-paced game, but still fun, and one that upped it better is Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge. This one had a password system, so you could progress farther in the game and come back to it later on. Better than Castlevania Adventure, but still not the greatest. The last handheld game I have that's horror-related is TigerGame.com's Resident Evil 2. Yes, complete in the box. Really dumb port of this game. I kind of want to get their Duke Nukem for the system so I can see how stupid that one is. Alright, now for the 16-bit systems. Another Castlevania, Bloodlines for the Genesis. Great game. Alien 3, based on the movie, obviously. For Super Nintendo, we have Doom. Gotta include Doom in Halloween-oriented video. Super Ghouls and Ghosts. A lot harder. Actually, I find this a lot easier than the friggin' original one for Nintendo. But still a great game. I'd love to get the Genesis version of it, actually, because they're actually kind of different. And then, last but not least, for Super Nintendo, Super Castlevania 4. I think this is my, for the side-scrolling Castlevanias, this is my all-time favorite. And nothing can beat this game. Alright, moving on to PlayStation 1. We have Parasite Eve 2. This is how I own it. I don't have the case or booklet. If anyone's got an extra case for it, that'd be awesome. Even if it doesn't have the instruction manual, I'd love to have the case for it. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. One of my all-time favorite Castlevanias. Beat the crap out of this thing. This one is tied with Super Castlevania 4 for my favorite. Dino Crisis. This is a great horror-themed game by Capcom, the makers of the Resident Evil series, but they involve dinosaurs come back to life. And it does have I do have the bonus Resident Evil 3 demo disc in there. Diablo, really hard game to find for PlayStation, but I also do own it, and part 2 for the PC. Very fun game, actually. This version is a little bit different. You can't really, like with obviously with the PC, if you're playing multiplayer through a phone line or something, you can walk off and do what you want. And this one you got to kind of stay close because the screen just splits. And it makes it harder to see what you're doing. And I'm including this because it does have a lot of fighters, and that's Darkstalkers, the Night Warriors. Fighting game by Capcom. Actually, I enjoy this game. I wish there was more versions of this game. Because you can fight as the vampire, Frankenstein's monster, Bigfoot, the mummy, a succubus chick, a cat chick. Yeah, if you ever play this game, it's a pretty good fighter. I enjoy it. The only GameCube game I got, Luigi's Mansion. This is the only way I own it. Everybody's got an empty case for it. That'd be cool. I'm including that because it is kind of horror themed. You're walking around with a flashlight and you're fighting boos and stuff. Now on to Sega Dreamcast. We have Zombie Revenge. I have yet to play this one, actually. I found it for cheap, so I picked it up. But each board is actually timed, and that, I don't know if I'm going to like the game because of that, because that's kind of annoying. You have to kill all these things that are attacking you in a certain amount of time. House of the Dead 2. Zombie-oriented zombie game. And Resident Evil Code Veronica. This game was actually really fun. I enjoyed beating this with a friend back when it first came out. I enjoyed beating all the Resident Evil games. I wish I owned more. And lastly, PlayStation 2. Resident Evil 4. Haven't played it yet. I should get around to playing these games, but I'm including this game, Devil May Cry, because it does involve demons and other supernatural things. And you are a half demon, for crying out loud. Castlevania, Lament of Innocence. Pretty cool game. I've started playing it, but then I got the PS3, so I stopped playing my PlayStation 2. And how they did it is very well done. And last, I'm including this because it is kind of horror-based and all that fun stuff. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Chaos Bleeds. Very fun game, actually, in my opinion. I was a huge fan of the show, so when this came out, I was so happy. I ended up renting it and almost beating it, and now I finally own it. Well, that's it for my horror games, unless you want to include E.T. the Extraterrestrial of 2600. Anyways, so that is the games I own that are Halloween, that would be best played around this time of the year. Comment, subscribe below, let me know if you enjoy any of the games I showed, or if you want to show off games that you own that are horror-based. So, once again, thanks for the inspiration. CZS716, and Frosty Brothers out.